You know how like in Game of Thrones they had like trial by combats where you can pick someone? Mm-hmm. You're doing that, but you get a public defender.
To sword fight for me?
Yeah.
Or to
win
the battle
If
of
you
wits?
cannot afford a combatant, one will be provided for
They'll
you.
provide a combatant. What would public defender trial by combat
From a
people
C-list-
be?
Some tired social
From a
worker.
C-list law school who has to pick up a pen and claim it's mightier than the sword when we all know he's going to die. He's like, if it pleases the Your Honor, objection. This man
Stab me with a
stabbed
sword.
me in the abdomen.
What do you think in Game of Thrones is the smallest crime you could demand a trial by combat? Like, you haven't paid taxes for like a month. Trial by combat.
Probably-
You fight you.
What's weird is the punishment is just whatever the punishment. That's just like how you're found guilty. So you would get charged with a month of taxes,
And
and then
be like, you're on. Yeah, that guy gets beheaded, and you're like probation. You're like, oh, fuck.
If you,
Well, okay, fair enough. Fair is fair. The gods have chosen.
keep getting parking tickets.
I was going to say if you have over 350, they're like, you can do a boot or you can pick up the sword and cut the boot off. No. You have to fight the guy who put the boot on. And only then will you get the key. It's like Saw, you have to cut the key out of the guy. Yeah, what was the crime that would originally prompt trial by combat?
You can do it for any crime, I think. That is how they're deciding whether or not you
It
are
just
guilty or
decides
not.
guilt. Yeah, it's not sentencing.
Oh, I actually did a sketch like this in college where it was trial by combat, but I got as my, I think I was being accused of murdering people by sword. And I was like, I would like to choose trial by combat. And they're like, he's like a master of the sword. And I'm like, rules are rules. What, are you going to deny me due process? Shing, shing, shing.
Yeah, like a serial killer where it's
Yeah.
trial by fighting a bunch of college women. I choose that one, yes.
Trial by going on a,
me versus one
a
whole
seemingly good
sorority.
date with a woman.
It's crazy that in Game of Thrones, the Viper got to use poison. That's cheating.
Against the wife?
Against the Mountain in the trial by combat.
I thought he got his eyes shit out.
He did, but his spear was tipped with poison.
Oh, and then they had to like
is
zombify
cheating,
the mountain. I don't know if it's cheating. Wasn't that the guy who plays the guy in Last of Us?
Yeah, and he's
Nice.
in that Pablo Escobar show.
That's Pablo Escobar.
No, he's some
The Viper.
DA. He's the Viper.
Oh yeah, he's like main guy though.
Yeah.
Pablo.
He's spinning a staff and poisoning and having sex with men and women. It's
This
very
is just
fun.
him on a ton of cocaine.
Hey
This
guys,
cop brought a spear. I think he's on the take.
hey guys, watch this. Check this out. Pablo taught me.
Yeah. His spear is tipped with more cocaine.
Yeah. Don't. He's like, want some? Do a
Stabs
bump off the
himself
spear.
right in the veins. Freebasing. You feel that? You feel that?
That's the real stuff, man. That's uncut Escobar. You think Escobar is probably uncut?
Yeah.
What do you think? What was your question? Oh, trial by combat.
A public defender trial by
combat.
Public
yeah.
defender. Yeah, I do like a really overworked lawyer having to like choose from a selection of weapons.
Staying up late. How am I fighting?
He opens his
This
briefcase.
is
he's
my
like, "Where's
ninth
my
fight
battle
today."
axe?" God, I just lost that woman her kids. I'm not in a good mood.
Throw somebody into the pit again.
He's like, then I got a regular trial after this. I got to do a whole change. I got to go home to get my clothes. Ugh. He takes a
there'd be-
leotard and a luchador mask out of his briefcase.
He forgets which case is which and just stabs the other person. They're like, this one wasn't a trial by combat. He's like, shit. This wasn't for Steven? Oh, I did the wrong
Oh
case.
shit! This is for Steve.
There would be, if there was trial by combat, there would be those like sleazy injury lawyers, but they would be like gladiators. Have you been wronged? Were you injured and don't know who to call? Shing! Call the law offices. Goldberg. There's still Jews.
Yeah, but they're very strong.
Goldberg, and Hercule.
And Galadriel.
You only pay if we win. They're holding a head. Ah!
If we don't win, you should come to the funeral. It's just the right thing to do. We fought hard. Are you the victim of workplace injury? Call the law officers.
I slipped at work, and now my hip.
I'll kill the CEO. They'll have to pay. I'll be crowned the new CEO, and we'll run McDonald's. Or if it's like a case of like you're getting scalded by too hot coffee, that's what you use as a weapon.
Hot coffee.
This guy just had so many cups of coffee.
It'd be fun if they did the Viper thing where they would sit like it's like you raped her, you killed her, whatever. They would do that for every single crime.
Yeah. You have 5 counts of tax evasion. Admit it. Confess. And then he smashed her head. I laundered money.
I poured the coffee on myself.
And then I smashed her head in like this. Whoa, jeez. This was a civil trial.
I guess he's innocent. He won.
Yeah.
He killed him, so he must be set free.
In civil trials, the burden of proof is less, so you don't have to kill them. You can just gotta beat them up.
I think in Game of Thrones it would have been hilarious if after the Mountain and the Viper fight, then the police come for the Mountain and they're like, I mean, you confessed to a bunch of shit, man.
Yeah.
You have a trial now.
Yeah, so that was that's kind of reset. So that was like ground zero for you, and you kind of admitted to that crime.
Yeah.
So you wiped the slate clean, and then you confessed.
Yes.
And that's when we started getting on your trail.
And you will need probably to find.
You see the ice cream van outside the Trial by Combat? That was us. Yeah, we were recording the whole thing. Yeah. Oh my God. Well, he was squeezing that man's eyeballs out. He confessed to a different murder.
Yeah. Squeeze the eyeballs, and inside is like a recorder.
Yeah.
We got him.
Oh shit! He was wearing a wire. Yeah. We got him. Go, go, go. It was crazy. So, what was the idea with the Trial by Combat? You win.
The gods would help
decide.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like okay, you accuse someone of fucking someone's wife, and let's say the guy did fuck the guy's wife. There's proof. The wife's like, oh yeah. She walks in like a sheriff. She's waddling. It's very clear that she's been fucked by this guy. And then he's like, nope. And I'll prove it to you by killing you. Yeah. And then after they're like, well, I guess he has more honor now because even if he did fuck the wife, he
if he did
proved his valor.
No, because if he did fuck the wife, the gods wouldn't have ever let him win.
If I fucked this guy's wife, how come the gigantic man that I picked killed this little tiny boy that you picked?
Yeah. Right.
I don't see.
Yeah, that doesn't make
the gods have spoken.
And then eventually they would try to
twink was wrong.
He was not only wrong, he was guilty. They'd try to beta test it in the lab, whether or not Trial by Combat works when you get a little more scientific. You're like, all right, I have a number in the box. You're fighting for 1. You're fighting for that it's a 0. And then they fight. Do you know what I'm saying?
Kind of.
Whatever.
Say it again.
The scientific method.
Explain it to me more.
Does Trial by Combat really determine the...
So it's an A/B test, right?
Right. And you would have to do it with, let's have a big buff guy fight the little guy, but the little guy's correct, so we'll know.
I see. And
then the little guy gets creamed, and they're like, I don't think the gods... And they're like, well, one test is... A sample size is usually 900 minimum.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you look for.
You got to get 100 big guys.
Got to get a lot of little guys and a lot of big guys. Well, really just the one big guy.
Yeah,
because he's doing pretty good.
He's doing all right. He's right a lot.
Yeah,
we should start asking.
Guy's a good guy.
We should start asking. He's wise.